E aí, uma boa noite pra todos vocês. Hoje nós temos um jogo diferente, um jogo velho de 2013, que eu sei que devia ter jogado há muito tempo atrás, que se chama The Stanley Parable. Então a gente tem aqui já um comentário da Julie Gamers com First e o Giovanni falando Vingadores Avante, do nada. Eu só queria comentar que esse aqui é um jogo que eu queria ter jogado há muito tempo, mas eu queria ter um momento especial pro canal. Antes mesmo de eu conseguir fazer live, com a internet ruim e tudo mais. E antes de começar o jogo eu mexi em algumas coisas e eu queria testar. Que eu mexi nos achievements, liberou uma achievement. E tinha o lance das legendas em português, que daí ficaria mais tranquilo. Eu tive que mudar os arquivos do jogo, editando o nome do TXT da legenda e tudo mais. Eu espero que funcione e que seja o suficiente, senão eu vou pausar um pouquinho o jogo e daí eu volto e coloco pelo menos as legendas para vocês conseguirem entender. Então já são 7-1 e temos o Jonathan Lopes chegando também com mais um Vingadores Avante. Vocês acreditam que eu ainda não assisti Indie Game? Um dia eu vejo, mas esse dia ainda não chegou. Então eu vou dar play e começar o jogo, que eu sei que muitos de vocês já viram a gameplay inteira. Mas aqui vai ser um pouquinho diferente, porque é o Japa e o Japa não é muito bom com essas coisas. Vamos lá. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Is loading, never the end. Legal esse jogo com a tela preta, né? Pera, não tá aparecendo nada aqui, né? Ok, que tela de loading imensa. Vocês só estão vendo meu rosto. E travou tudo. Eu espero que volte. Se a gente começou meio mal essa live. Será que eu reinicio? Não, pera. A barra tá aumentando. Foi pra metade, um pouquinho mais da metade. Mas a... Ok, agora a tela tá aparecendo na live, né? Por favor, confirma pra mim se apareceu pelo menos a tela de load aqui embaixo. Que aqui do lado, pelo menos pra mim, só tá uma tela preta com o meu rosto aqui no canto. Que, né? Nada a ver, não é aquilo que a gente queria tá vendo. Nossa, mas que load imenso. Nós estamos aqui nos anos 2000? Pra demorar tanto tempo pra começar a jogar um jogo? Clique.
This is the story of a man named
legenda tá boa.
Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number
Então nós somos o
427.
funcionário 427.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard.
É basicamente o que
Orders came to
com o
him through
programador.
inflator on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how
Não
long to
exatamente
push
assim.
them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month of every year.
Tá dando umas
And
travadinhas.
although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Se ele era feliz, tá bom.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Pra sempre.
Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ok, a gente pode jogar agora. Quais são os botões? Tá dando umas travadinhas se eu mexer nos gráficos. Eu vou tirar isso daqui. A gente consegue travar os quadros? Uau, travou. Eu vou ter que iniciar. É isso. Ai. Então vamos lá. What? Tá. Então, ó, pra aqueles que não sabem, essa é a minha primeira vez que eu tô jogando. Eu sei que você já viu esse jogo
Stanley decided
antes.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Estranho, não dá pra olhar lá fora, né?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
Não tá fazendo uma diferença.
Nor did it advance the story in any way.
Dá pra dar zoom? Não. O que tá escrito ali? Não consigo ler.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ok. Dá pra voltar? Não. Alguém me trancou?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
No,
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Coisa de TI, revisão semanal. Grupos 400 e alguma coisa. 40x, 41x. 10 mais desenvolvimento, inspeção. Ok. Isso não estava assim antes. Ah, tá. Targets. Não é custo eficiente. Standard. Gráficos. Padrões. 40x. Quem moveu minha mesa? De onde tá vindo esse projetor? Ah, dali. Mas ele não tem sombra. Entendi. Ah, tá bom. Chato. Sinergia dos valores principais. Mudança global do paradigma do mercado. Monetizar free to play. Ok. Não é isso que eles estão fazendo com Fortnite. Opa.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Vamos ver. O J. Marcos R falou que Choco esse jogo tem vários caminhos. Então tenta na parte direita e depois na esquerda. O cara falou que eu tô voando metaforicamente. Que ele chegou voando pra ver o vídeo. Nice. Bom, basicamente nossos personagens também tá voando, ó. A gente não tem corpo. Vamos lá.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bom, vamos descer porque a gente não tá afim de subir escadas. Descer é sempre mais fácil. Esse negócio vermelho é um pouquinho medonho, mas...
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Wow.
All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
Isso não pode ser
And at
real.
last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Deixa eu só mexer nos gráficos de novo, que tá dando umas travadinhas chatas. Isso aqui eu acho que é bom deixar. Eu vou diminuir isso aqui e deixar bilinear. Ok.
What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself and began to gently float above the ground.
What?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical start field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
É uma boa pergunta.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Problema
And while he
existencial
thought it
isso
all
aí já.
very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Como?
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
Ok.
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
Sabemos agora que ele tem uma esposa.
All I want
além
is
do
my life
apartamento.
exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Uau, que coisa depressiva. E a gente acordou no mesmo lugar. Tá, deixa eu fazer uma pausa e ler os comentários. Ok, o Ian José Game falou, já você sabe que tem português, né? Eu ouvi falar que tem português de Portugal, o áudio e a legenda. A legenda eu deixei em português, pra vocês conseguirem ler. Mas, em geral, eu prefiro ouvir os jogos com a linguagem que ela foi gravada. Manter o trabalho original.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a bar, have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Ele desmaiou?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Mariela. Olá, Mariela.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew.
Como assim?
Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
Meu Deus.
I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Meu Deus. Ele morreu e a moça só ficou olhando. Como assim? Esse é um dos finais já? Sim. Uau, tá. O primeiro final que eu peguei foi do cara que ficou louco, saiu correndo e morreu na calçada.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Tá bom.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Meu Deus. Tá, daquela vez
Stanley came
a gente
to
foi
a
pra
set of
esquerda.
two open doors.
O cara
He
falou pra
entered
gente
the
pra
door on
esquerda.
his left.
Dessa vez então a gente vai pegar o caminho da direita.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
sei.
and Stanley knew
A
it
gente não tá no
perfectly
caminho
well.
certo. Eu não
Perhaps
quero
he
ir no
wanted to
caminho
stop
certo.
by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh,
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all. Just but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
nope. What is it?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's
Ruim em seguir
incredible he
direções.
wasn't
Era a vida
divorced
dele.
years ago.
Que eu tenha sido demitido anos atrás. Ok.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
Mas eu tava com vontade de
I'm
jogar
not
ele
asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ela aqui.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Quem tá esperando?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
Ela quem? Eu atendi. Ué.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All
Das
right. Okay, there we go.
Hold
All
on.
right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about...
Gotcha! Oh, come
Jesus.
on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really
Ele tá
going
falando
on
que
here.
ele fingiu tudo esse negócio dele ter uma esposa, que ele não tem uma esposa.
This is a very sad story about the
Essa é uma
death
história
of a man.
triste. Ok, por que tá essas legendas? A gente precisa que isso tenha as legendas para que todo mundo consiga entender. Não é aqui. Áudio. Full captions. Vamos ver
Name
se...
Stanley.
Não, exato. Good morning. Bom dia, empregado 427. Aperte O no seu teclado. Ai, credo. Tem alguma outra coisa que eu posso fazer? Deixa eu apertar todos os outros botões. Nope.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Ah, tá bom. N.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work.
Ok, ele tem uma rotina.
One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Que TV?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Descer daqui, eu cansei.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Aperte U para fazer.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Contar a história para as crianças.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Ah, meu Deus, é pra apertar ou não é pra apertar? Agora eu tô confuso. Isso é um paradoxo. Que ele me deu uma ordem pra eu apertar um botão e se eu não apertar o botão, eu vou apertar. Eu não vou apertar. Se eu esperar, não vai acontecer nada. Ou vai? Eu apertei qualquer outro botão.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Certeza que é uma metáfora sobre quem passa a vida inteira
jogando videogame. I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must.
I must.
Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Como assim,
and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I...
Que aconteceu? Ok, a gente morreu. E começou de novo. São 11h21 neste relógio.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
A gente podia correr, né? Dessa vez eu vou seguir.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Cadê Zelda? Zelda vai... Aqui tava tendo pouca view. Daí eu decidi meio que dar uma parada.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Parece
Feeling
o
a
dublador
wave
do
of
Esta noite.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
eles são
office,
dos mesmos caras?
hoping he might find an answer. Coming to
bom.
a staircase,
Aqui ele falou pra
Stanley
subir.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Eu tinha ido pra baixo da outra vez. Essa porta não fechou e porque ela não combina com esse lugar. Banheiro executivo. Você tá no banheiro executivo? Não, porque eu não sou executivo.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Como é que ele sabe isso assim?
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Eu me assustei com esse som dos passos dele. Ué. Ah, tá. Eu errei. Eu acabei o dever mais rápido do que esperava. Aí sim, amigo, o problema é quando demora mais do que a gente queria. Nossa, o jogo tá muito estranho. O que tá acontecendo? O que tá acontecendo? E sobre Zelda? Se mais pessoas quiserem, a gente volta a fazer live de Zelda. Senão, eu continuo jogando sozinho meu outro save. É sempre assim. Eu tô com saudade de jogar Pokémon. Saudades Cappuccino.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Vamos fugir. Mas se alguém escreveu escape... A Gris falou saudade Zelda. Jogar Zelda.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it,
the truth was that at the end of this hall,
Stanley would meet his violent death.
Eu não quero encontrar a morte violenta.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Agora a gente já tá nesse caminho, narrador.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Eu não queria morrer, não. Vamos, né? Só isso mesmo? Ok, era literalmente só isso. Ai. É verdade, eu esqueci de marcar everyone no Discord. Eu sempre esqueço. Eu tenho problemas com essas coisas. Eu tava pensando em avisar no Twitter, mas ninguém usa o Twitter também. E o Instagram. Eu sou péssimo em redes sociais. Eu tô vivo! Talvez...
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blonde man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Obrigado. Ah. Mas... Eu estou confuso.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Isso foi ofensivo, moça. Offensive. Office layout. O escritório, a mesa. Os computadores. Isso aqui é tipo uma sala de testes. Mas eu sou 427, não sou? Créditos. A gente é legal deixar os créditos, na verdade. Nossa, que coisa doida. Eu sei que não é um jogo de terror, mas esse cenário me deixa tenso. Opa. Olá, Kevin Brighting. Parabéns pela sua voz. Ela serve muito bem como ambientação com essa narração. Bem filosófico esse negócio, né? O final da liberdade. Não tive esse final, mas que porcaria é essa? Não vi esse negócio. Não vi esse negócio. Não vou pra lá ainda que tem mais coisa pra ver. Countdown. Não vi isso também. Eu não vi nada. Eu só morri aquela hora. Zending. Não vi isso, também não faço ideia do que é isso aqui. Isso aqui é a tela... Mano, isso aqui é tipo um museu. Que jogo muito louco aí. Muita coisa, muita coisa. Aqui, essa aqui é minha sala. Essas 3 salas. Screenshot Stanley HD Remix Streaming. Ok, eu acho que eu vou... a gente voltou pro começo. Vamos voltar para aquele caminho que tinha negócio escuro. Pronto, a gente deve reiniciar. Aí a gente tá fazendo o que eles mandam? Sim. Eles estão entregando uma mensagem? Talvez, mas eu tô confuso e curioso. Queria saber o que mais acontece nesse negócio. Afinal, a gente só tá com 34 minutos de jogo. A gente não fez nada ainda.
Oh, look at these two.
Que dois?
How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another.
O que você tá falando, moça?
How they both wish to be free.
Os dois quem?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Quem é o outro? O narrador?
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Como?
Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time choose.
Mori. É realmente uma parada para falar com o jogador que a gente tá desperdiçando a vida jogando videogame. Sério que agora ficou nesse negócio preto. Nesse caso a gente literalmente morreu mesmo. Começar o jogo de novo. Interessante, bem interessante. Começar o jogo de novo. No jogo que fala que a gente tá perdendo a vida apertando um monte de botões, achando que a gente tá fazendo escolhas, sendo que essas escolhas são todas pré-programadas, porque eles foram feitos por uma equipe de pessoas. No caso, desenvolvedores, contando uma história, vivendo aventuras que na verdade não existem, porque elas estão apenas dentro de um computador. Seria isso? Uma mensagem? Sei lá, agora o videogame, vamos de novo.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
O que mais que eu não fiz mesmo?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
Podia dar
well.
pra correr, né?
Perhaps he wanted to
Já
stop
viu
by
isso.
the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Me cede.
Wow.
Para de trabalhar.
Yes, this room. What
Sim.
a but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Vamos ver essa porta agora.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to
very
the
visual.
opposite door, and got back on track.
E o que é isso? Quem manda agora, narrador? Droga, nem chegava.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get
devagar.
even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Ele não sabe.
From here, it's, left.
Bom, ele só abriu uma porta pra mim. Eu não posso abrir as outras. Isso aqui não é interagir, isso aqui... vou ter que ir por aqui mesmo.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Trollou, hein?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Certeza. Certeza mesmo?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley,
Spoiler.
close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to,
alguém foi demitido.
Who am I
Espero que não
kidding?
seja eu.
It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Ué, ele literalmente só me jogou de volta pro começo do jogo. É isso. Como é que eu vou decidir quando acabar essa live? Porque toda hora recomeça. É um loop.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
O Caio falou que fazer tudo o contrário.
Wait.
Que?
What? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change?
Olha aqui,
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Oh, let's go for the adventure. Ah, droga, eu odeio labirintos. Mesmo. Do fundo do meu coração. Se tem um jeito que eu iria morrer com algum puzzle, seria se alguém me botasse um labirinto. Eu nunca ia sair dele.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
Não.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Ah, ele reiniciou. Eu estava me divertindo. O King Rei das Fadas pediu mais vídeos sobre o Gorochu, porque eu quero saber se vai ter essa evolução e manda um salve King Rei das Fadas. E eu não acho que vai ter mais coisa, pelo menos pelo que anunciaram, era só aquele lance mesmo. Qual era o nome da moça? Já até esqueci. Mas tem bastante vídeo de teoria que eu tô pretendendo fazer agora com as coisas de Sword and Shield.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Tá bom. Posso entrar aqui? Não. Não. Que? Como é que eu subi? Aqui. Eu ganhei uma conquista de você não pode pular. Uau, que útil.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Tá bom, senhor narrador.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Ok, isso aqui já parece mais Silent Hill.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story?
Se você não sabe como é que eu vou saber.
I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Não.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Tô feliz com isso. Não estou.
No, I don't feel right about this at all.
Eu também não.
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Não teve graça.
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Ok, reinicia. Vai rolar outra live de Dauntless? Não sei. What the...
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Isso é literalmente uma metáfora para os jogos modernos que tinham para fazer tudo. Mas eu vou seguir porque eu tô curioso. É algo novo. Pelo menos eu não caio naquele labirinto idiota.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Meu Deus, que música mais... Por que faz isso, jogo? Isso aqui é uma opção de não seguir o caminho? Não. Ai, que música ridícula, para! Tá, é que eu não tinha vindo ainda. Pelo menos é um lugar novo.
Wait, cut the music.
Obrigado.
Go back and look at that fern.
Por quê?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Por quê?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You
Você tá me
won't want to
zoando.
miss anything. Wait, what? We're back at the office?
Filho da...
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you,
Foi você que colocou ali
everything
esse
we've been
jogo.
through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart our...
Isso realmente... Ai, de novo a linha. Acho que alguns jogos que eu conheço que seria da hora fazer live seria
You know
Kingdom
what,
New Lands.
Stanley? I say
This War of
forget the
Mine,
adventure
eu tenho
line.
isso
What's
também
it
que eu
ever
queria
done for
jogar.
us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Você também sabe o que tá fazendo esse narrador.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
Isso é
Go
impossível.
wild. Use your
Ah, que
imagination.
merda, a gente tá...
Whatever it might be, Stanley,
Isso não faz
I'm
sentido.
ready for it.
Mas no mundo dos videogames tudo é possível.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
Linha
No
Amarela,
lines
meu
or
personagem
monitor
favorito
rooms.
desse jogo.
Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Adeus, Linha.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't
A
squander the
sensação
opportunity.
de estar no
In fact,
controle.
I believe I need a
isso
minute to
que diz.
think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I
Não.
know that each door has to lead somewhere,
Sim.
which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here.
Porta reversa.
And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Eu não tenho escolha. De novo. Né? Filho da... O final da confusão.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending?
É só um
And we're
algoritmo.
supposed to restart the
Com
game
monte de
eight
funções.
times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I
Oh, a
restart
falsa
again.
sensação
Then
de
what?
escolha aí,
Am I
ó.
just supposed to
Bang.
forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Agora
I
ele
won't
entrou numa
do
crise
it.
existencial.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Ninguém veio nos buscar, todo mundo morreu, lembra?
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm
Sim,
not quite
é uma
sure if we're
história
in the
bem
destination
confusa.
or the journey.
E sim,
They're
eu vou trazer
always saying
Pokémon
that life
Espada
is
e
about the journey and not the
O dinheiro
destination.
tá
So
sendo
I
guardado
hope
pra esse
that's where
momento.
we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Caramba, que susto. Precisava de um barulho tão... Gilles falou, meu Deus, joga What Remains of Edith Finch. Você comprou esse jogo, não foi? Eu não tenho. Certeza absoluta que eu não tenho. Ou tenho. Foi aquele que eles deram de graça na Epic Games? Quer dizer, na Epic Store? Ou era outro?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Tem mais alguma coisa que a gente possa não ter feito? Ah, eu travei.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Esse é o da escada. O da direita, a gente... O da escada eu vou tentar errar a senha.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Fale menos.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Que errado. Mas faz sentido. Quer dizer, no ponto de vista de como a
Coming to a
sociedade cobra as
staircase,
pessoas hoje,
Stanley
né?
walked upstairs
Que
to
eu
his
fazer mesmo?
boss's
Eu subi.
office.
Ficou de graça na Epic. Bom, ficou de graça, dá pra fazer. Só que no próximo eu vou limitar o FPS. Que esse aqui não tá limitado, tá dando umas travadinhas que me incomodam.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Exatamente. E o Stanley burro, ele não sabe o que
Stanley
tá fazendo.
simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination.
Exatamente,
If he knew that the
estatisticamente,
combo
é difícil
was
já.
2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do instead.
Exatamente, essa história de um Stanley que não sabe o conceito de números. Não acontece
Stanley
nada se eu
just
colocar
sat around twiddling his
os
thumbs.
números errados.
Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Mas eu não quero, pô, esse número. A Dani vai ficar preso aqui pra sempre.
2845.
Não.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself.
Ah,
and
narrador
Stanley got the
safado,
hell along with the
impaciente.
story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Como que eu sei quantos finais tem? Tá, aqui embaixo a gente já veio.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that
agora a
read
gente vai reto.
Mind Control Facility.
Porque da outra vez a gente morreu. O que é isso?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ué. No.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Cadê o meu?
Each
Ali,
bore the number
427.
of an employee in the building.
Minha sala tá
Stanley's
vazia.
co-workers.
A de
The
todos.
lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Freedom! Faz o final Mind Break, que você acha? Como assim? Eu não quero ver os finais da internet, amor.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Bom, eu ainda tô seguindo as ordens da voz.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Mas é meio ignorante feliz ou cara com
But here
conhecimento
was the
triste?
proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Controle da mente ocioso, esperando por entrada. Ó. Acabou? Eu vi uns quadros de uns campos com grama lá fora. Me falaram que esse é o final da liberdade.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Ele mesmo.
Was it over?
Não me assusta.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Também não quero saber.
But
Mentira, eu
as
quero.
sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go,
Olha que céu
what
bonito.
to do, or how to feel. Whatever
uma tela,
life
né?
he lives,
Não.
it will be his.
Realmente,
That was all he needed
negócio
to know. It was
era
perhaps
bonito, agora parece
the only
Minecraft.
thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Mas ele realmente está feliz ou ele está
Stanley felt the cool
projetando as
breeze
emoções do
upon his
narrador?
skin, the feeling of liberation,
Brisa com Z?
the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Eu não tô controlando
And
mais nada.
Stanley was happy.
Uau. Que final mais poético. Não gostei. Reinicia. Conquista alcançada. Beat the game. Ah, então esse seria realmente o final. Final. Por que não aparece conquista? Ah, eu acho que eu tirei o overlay do OBS. Vai ter mais coisa. E se eu colocasse on no lugar do off no botão do controle da mente? É o que eu vou fazer agora.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Mas eu
missed
já
a
tenho uma
memo.
interpretação, hein? Wow, sweet child.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ai, super podia ter um shift pra gente correr.
Yet there was not a single person here
Lá,
over.
a gente já sabe que não tem
Feeling a
ninguém.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Tá
Coming
bom.
to a
Eu vou pôr
staircase,
senha rápida dessa
Stanley
vez,
walked
cara.
upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley
28:45.
froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That
Sim,
kind
não
of
quero que você pare,
anxiety
só vai.
isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments
não.
with some calming
New
New
Age,
Age
não.
music.
Eu devia ter esperado ele falar, né?
Feeling soothed and
Obrigado.
rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Thank you. Isso. Tá parecendo aquelas músicas chatas de casamento. Nada a ver. Irritante. E ninguém gosta. Eu acho. Ninguém é força barra. Pouca gente gosta. Lá, eu quero
Stanley
apertar.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Lá. Só vai.
The lights
Abre.
rose on an enormous
A
room
gente
packed
já
with
viu esse
television
negócio
screens.
umas 4
What horrible
vezes.
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Obrigado.
Now the
Let's
monitors
go.
jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind
Desse
control
bagulho.
facility,
Sobe.
it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Tem
Was
quantas
this the
pessoas?
only reason he was
600.
happy with his boring job?
E
That
só
his
104
emotions had been manipulated
E
to accept
601
it
supostamente
blindly?
foram demitidos. Pera, 601 e
No.
104?
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
Devolve
His
esse número
own
aí.
life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent
eu
his
li uma coisa,
entire
me lembro de
life
comentar depois.
utterly blind to the world?
Sobre o jogo? Não tem nada a ver.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled
essa
with
parada aqui?
emotions. Happy or sad
Nada, só
or content. Walking,
umas
eating,
coisas com LED.
working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Não, ok.
And as the cold reality of his past began to
Comida.
sink in, Stanley decided
foi no
that this
Subway hoje.
machinery
Eu
would
fui no
never
Subway.
again
Demorou
exert
umas
its
2
terrible
horas pra ganhar
power
o
over
lanche.
another human life.
Oh.
For he... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Ativei, sim.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go
Sim.
and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that
Sim.
what you wanted? Control?
É só um jogo.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent,
Desafiando o narrador.
Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Isso é aquela coisa
How
nada a
long
ver
until
que a criança
detonation then?
inventa só para continuar a história.
Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
Pera.
More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right
Exatamente, eu vou apertar
now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
Onde está
I mean, look at you.
3?
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
Nah, não vai, eu
Do you
vou
think
morrer, né?
that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Caio, aconteceu que ele vai explodir tudo porque eu liguei a máquina e ele não queria que essa fosse a história. Então ele tá inventando alguma coisa pra eu morrer. Se não for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eu não sei o que fazer.
It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Essa música é legal, pelo menos, ó.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then...
Eu vou morrer. Eu quero morrer aqui. Uma tela mais legal.
Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully?
Ai, pode tremer, eu tô
Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Morremos. Yeah, we dead. Japa, joga Minecraft nesse jogo. O quê? O que você tá falando? Se é algum easter egg, eu não faço a menor ideia como ativar. Se você estiver me zoando, parabéns, porque agora o jogo, eu acredito. Ah, se dá flag a música, não sei, espero que não. Qual que era a sala do cara? 104? Isso aqui tá diferente, não tá? Não.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nesse jogo. Eu vi no quiz nerd. Meu Deus.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years
Já
ago.
volta lá nas portas. Ih, eu acabei de passar por uma que não dá pra voltar mais. Eu posso cair?
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Obrigado. Japa volta lá nas portas, se eu não tô enganado, elas vão ficar coloridas, mas qual das portas? Porque
all of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Ué.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Bom, é
This was
dessas
not the
portas
correct
aqui.
way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room,
Essa eu não
Stanley
consigo
for the
voltar.
first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute
Bom,
or two.
vocês falaram volta. Eu
Now it's
acho que
only
tinha que ter
hot,
sido
but eager to get back to business,
pouquinho antes, né?
Stanley took the first open
Vocês
door
têm que
on his
lembrar
left.
que tem atraso. Tá, eu vou morrer, daí eu volto. Quem já achou um vídeo
Stanley
rápido
was so
disso, né?
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Vamos lá.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley.
death.
Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Ok, a gente repetiu a parada, então antes da porta do lounge eu volto. E depois eu faço tudo que ele não disse pra fazer. Daí a gente encerra. Tá bom, né? Ué. Tá.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Então a gente vem pra
This was
cá.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
chega
well.
até perto do
Perhaps he wanted to
lounge e
stop
volta.
by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Tipo agora. Ué, mas nada mudou. Não era aqui?
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before.
Ué, ele não falou isso antes.
Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took
vou
the
desobedecer
first
tudo
open
agora.
door on his left.
Não vai ser o lance da esposa de manequim, não, né? Aquilo foi
Stanley was so
estranho.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult,
Eu
but
posso
the
tentar
fact
cair
is
aqui,
that the
né?
story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Eu não vim pra cá ainda.
Someone you've... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you
nada.
something beautiful.
Já mostrou.
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Azul.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red
No.
door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead,
cor de
Stanley.
Choconatos.
You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you'd wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I'd written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was
Com
all
certeza,
for
você colocou
nothing.
bastante tempo
Because
nesse
this
jogo.
is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stan. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Ok, tá divertido.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. Hahaha. Eu não tô aqui há tanto tempo.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Agora é pra pontuar, sabe? Colocar uns painéis de nota. É isso. Leaderboards. É um jogo competitivo. Eu sou o último. Eu vou dar 1.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Loading. Agora vai ser o mine? What?
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Aí literalmente volta tudo. Olha, desculpa bebê, você vai morrer. Ah, salvei.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
É sério, se for, vai ser muito genial.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then...
Só não coloca ele de passarinho. Ah, eu nunca mais vou fazer uma de passarinho.
Ai,
meu Deus, ele vai me colocar aqui,
just to
né?
finish it all off. Yes.
Ah, não, eu vou comprar.
It's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Ele vai me trancar ali.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Nossa, ele realmente tá me fazendo Depois eu não vou conseguir subir, cara. Tá bom, não é pra subir mesmo, né? Ele vai matar ali embaixo. Nossa, ele...
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Nope.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new
Ele
game.
colocou todos os monstros aqui? Doideira. Que música é essa?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. Ooh, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Nossa, que genial. Pena que trava, mas genial.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Como ele colocou?
Genius.
Aí, Lama, parabéns.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game.
Ai, capeta. Eu só queria aproveitar a oportunidade para dizer que eu também tirei 10 em cálculo 3. Eu tô muito feliz. É isso. Obrigado. Ai, morri. Que triste. Eu queria ter explorado mais. Ah, obrigado. Putz, isso aqui parece muito coisa de Silent Hill. Eu não gosto nada disso. Eu vou me assustar. Vocês conseguem ver alguma coisa? Porque se pra mim a tela tá escura, imagina pra vocês. É a sala do 427, né? Eita. Tem um final que você ainda não fez. Eu acho que tem alguns que eu não fiz ainda. Sala 427. E...
I wonder what he found.
O que foi que eu encontrei?
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
É pra reiniciar. Não, ele reiniciou sozinho. Thank you. Tem uma salinha com contagem de todos os finais que já fez. Bom, isso aí eu
All
não
of his
vi.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Essa porta sempre esteve aberta.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
Tá,
perfectly
a
well.
gente pode tentar seguir agora
Perhaps he wanted
todas
to
as
stop by the
portas
employee
que ele
lounge
fala
first,
depois do
just
momento
to
que a gente cai
admire it.
daquela plataforma.
The lounge was grand, majestic.
Porque é uma coisa que a
Perhaps,
gente
but
ainda não
eager
fez,
to get
possivelmente.
back
Pode
to
ser esse
business,
finalzinho que vocês estão
Stanley
comentando
took
que eu
the
ainda não
first
fiz.
open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ó, aqui a gente pega esse caminho
Look,
aqui
Stanley, I think perhaps
e a
we've
gente
gotten off on
segue
the
pra
wrong
sala
foot
vermelha,
here.
que a gente
I'm
ficou
not
só
your
indo pra
enemy,
azul.
really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your
Tomara
trust
que eu
in
não morra.
someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has
Aquela
been about
porta ali.
nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What?
Yeah.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Tá bom, vamos ver
Give
se
me a
você tá mesmo do
chance.
meu lado.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through
Ok,
the red
minha, muito
door.
obrigado. Boa noite. Vamos para a porta vermelha. Confiar no
Oh,
narrador.
thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you
Sim.
see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time?
Todo
The
mundo
problem
quer.
is all these choices.
Mas
The two of us
é
always
mentira.
trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
Ah, de
I
novo
just,
esse negócio.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
Ok.
And I think I have a solution.
E qual é a sua
Here,
solução?
let me show you.
Não reinicia, né?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Você tá falando como se fosse um bebê. What?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy.
Meu, eu fiz alguém feliz nesse
I
jogo.
actually feel happy.
Tem gente que é feliz com pouca coisa, né? Queria ser assim. Tá, vamos entrar. Ah, Silent Hill.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Tá bom, eu volto.
Right. Where were we?
Não sei se você tá falando nada, só tá mostrando um monte de coisa. Drogas. Eu não queria fazer um narrador triste. Mas acho que eu vou. É, mano, isso aqui é muito Silent Hill.
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Eu não vou me machucar.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Putz, agora eu tô me sentindo meu culpado. Ai, credo, pera, isso aqui é meio pesado. Deixa eu voltar pra ver se acontece mais alguma coisa. Que eu fiquei bem perturbado com essa escolha.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Nope. Vai acabar.
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Desculpa.
You hurt me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
Vou não. Vai ficar tudo bem.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God. No, 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 what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Hoje.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for that? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game?
Eu não odeio esse jogo.
That you'll
Eu adoro
throw
esse jogo. Por
yourself
isso eu
from
quero
this
jogar mais dele.
platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Nossa, isso é
Am I
muito
reading the
pesado.
situation correctly?
Jesus.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Uau.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Meu Deus. Isso foi muito deprê. Ué.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
O narrador tá bem?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Tem mais alguma coisa pra ver aqui?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. What a room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
A gente já viu tudo agora?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired
Eu vou
years
só ver o que
ago.
acontece lá pra cima, se tem mais alguma opção, que eu não lembro.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ah, esse é o final
This
da...
is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put
Isso é
your
bom.
work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Nope. Urgente, empregados não devem nunca, sob nenhuma circunstância, tentar. Ai, credo.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
E se eu ignorar? Cansei.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Ah, é.
Hold
Manequim
on, sweetie.
estranho.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Gotcha. Oh, come on.
Ok, a gente
Did
já
you
viu isso
actually
antes
think you had a loving wife who'd want to
Será
commit
que tem mais
their
alguma
life
coisa
to
então
you?
que a gente pode testar?
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
E o que acontece se a gente ignorar todos os botões? Só espera. Acontece alguma coisa? Eis a questão. Que coisa, né? Nada. Por favor. Só vai. Não.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job
que
that
tá bom,
demands
né?
nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
É, realmente é uma agonia.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Uau, será que essa é a
It was
história de
such
como o
a
cara
wonderful
inventou esse jogo?
fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
True story.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
E agora? Esse último eu aperto, eu não aperto o botão. Eu espero, eu aperto o botão. Eu aperto o botão, eu espero. Eu espero, eu aperto o botão. O que eu faço? Esse barulho de relógio é uma coisa que me dá agonia. De ficar esperando. Eu vou apertar. Eu vou apertar o K.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. and I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Acabou. E ele vai pra sala. De novo, não é? Porque a gente já fez isso antes. É. Mas então tá bom, né, gente? A gente já tem aqui 1h40 de...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Já.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
Então
doors,
tá bom.
he entered the
Espero que vocês tenham
door on his
gostado.
left.
Chega. Acho que a gente já fez tudo, não fez? Se não fez, vocês devem saber mais do que eu já desse jogo. Então é isso, muito obrigado por ter assistido essa live. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Mas eu acho que tem um impacto legal esse tipo de jogo.
Yet
Ele é
there
bem
was
mais
not a single
filosófico do
person
que
here either.
jogo.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Oh no!
E eu acho que você tem uma metalinguagem bem legal com
Nothing.
relação
I
a
won't be
jogar
part of
videogames.
this. I'm not coming to a staircase. Stanley
fazer o
walked
final
upstairs
do
to
maluco da
his
rua.
boss's office.
E aí...
But Stanley
mas vai
just
dar uma
couldn't do
volta,
it.
né? Vai dar uma volta.
He considered the
volta.
possibility of facing his boss,
Vai demorar.
admitting he had left his
acho que tá
post
suave.
during work hours. He might be
Então é isso,
fired
gente. Eu vou
for
encerrando a
that.
live por aqui.
And in
Muito
such a
obrigado por todos
competitive
que assistiram até
economy,
aqui.
why
Muito
had he
obrigado, uma boa
taken
noite.
that risk?
E um
All
salve
because he
pra...
believed
Eu acho que
everyone
os únicos dois que ficaram aqui
His
até o
boss
final
would
foi a
think he was
Grise
crazy.
e o Kai
And then
D708.
something
E a
occurred
minha
to
foi agora há
Stanley.
pouco.
Maybe,
Então é isso,
he
muito
thought to
obrigado, uma
himself,
boa noite.
maybe I
E
am
até
crazy.
a próxima.
All of my
E daí, de
coworkers
novo, a
blinking
gente fica de olho
mysteriously
no
out of
Discord pra ver qual vai
existence in
ser
a
o
single
próximo
moment for no
jogo
reason at all.
que a gente traz
None
pra
of
cá.
it made
Se a gente
any
volta com o
logical
Zelda, se a gente
sense.
faz a parada do
And
Pokémon
as Stanley
Showdown.
pondered this, he began
Se eu
to
vou
make
ficar com
other strange
o Zelda, né? Porque
observations.
talvez eu devolva
For
pra
example,
Grise e eu fico um
why
Pokémon
couldn't he
Discord
see
já um
his
pouquinho.
feet when he looked
Mas a gente
down?
decide ser depois.
Why
E
did
boa, Kai.
doors close
Se
automatically
alguém tiver
behind
por aí
him
e
wherever
tiver
he
querendo
went?
ver qual é o nosso
And for that
Discord,
matter, these rooms
nós
were
temos
starting
o
to look
link
pretty
logo aí embaixo pelo
familiar.
Nightbot.
Were they
É
simply
isso,
repeating?
muito obrigado.
No,
E até
Stanley.
a próxima. Vamos só... Ó, dá pra salvar. Eu não tinha nem o jogo salvo. Não dá pra salvar? Salvou? New game saved. No saved game. Ah, cacilda. Joga Gris. Gris é uma boa ideia, mas eu queria deixar esse jogo pra você jogar primeiro, já que eu tirei de presente. Gris namorados, né? A gente tá com Gris no Switch. Quer dizer, a Grisa tá, mas eu consigo jogar pela conta do Nintendo Account. E chegou Nossa Senhora. O bagulho é hardcore no finalzinho da gameplay. E os créditos? Tem alguma coisa dos créditos? Não, são os créditos. Mas ok, gente. Então, muito obrigado e até a próxima. Então a gente fica de olho. Gris, se vai ser Pokémon, se vai ser Zelda, Showdown, Fortnite, Overwatch, o que vocês quiserem. A gente decidiu no Discord. Então é isso, muito obrigado pra vocês e uma boa noite a todos. Até mais.